Do not fight for approval. Fight for positioning, so you never have to fight again.
There's a mindset so precise, so untouchable. It doesn't react. It orchestrates. It doesn't chase power. It moves in silence, and power follows. This isn't about being louder, stronger, or more liked. It's about making moves no one sees coming, and never needing to explain a single one. Machiavelli didn't write for people who wanted peace. He wrote for those ready to control what others think is uncontrollable. What you're about to hear isn't strategy. It's architecture, of attention, of perception, of influence. And once you see it, you won't be able to return to the way you used to play the game. Let's begin. Most people don't lose because they're weak. They lose because they're predictable. Predictability is comforting for others, but for you, it's a trap. The more they understand you, the easier it is to dismiss you, manipulate you, and control you. They know what you'll say before you say it. They expect your smile, your explanations, your willingness to bend. Here's the cost. Every time you act the way they expect, you give them the power. You have to learn how to disappear from the chessboard while still moving every piece. Not by yelling, not by pleasing, but by becoming unreadable. And unreadable is unstoppable. Machiavelli wasn't trying to flatter rulers. He was revealing them. Machiavelli didn't invent deception. He exposed it. He said what polite people were too scared to say, because power doesn't survive on pleasantries. The prince was raw, brutal, honest, and for that, he was called evil. But it wasn't evil. It was the first modern manual for psychological war. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. That line has been misunderstood for centuries. It doesn't mean you must become a tyrant. It means control is more important than comfort. It means outcomes matter more than appearances. Machiavelli knew that being loved is never guaranteed. It depends on others. But fear, or more accurately, calculated respect, can be created by how you present yourself. Stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your emotions. Start acting like you know what you're doing, even when you don't. The law of control begins with this. Predictability is weakness. If people can guess how you'll react, they can control you. But if they are unsure, even slightly, they give you space. Speak only when necessary, and act without always announcing it. Others will build stories around you. Your absence becomes presence. Your calm becomes threat. Attention is the currency of power, and mystery is what drives it. Power isn't loud. It's quiet, contained, and deliberate. And once people feel you are unshakable, they stop testing you. Machiavelli teaches that control isn't something you ask for. It's something you take by showing you don't need permission. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This is not deception. It's awareness. Machiavelli's brilliance was in recognizing that people don't respond to truth. They respond to perception. That means being functional without being fully known, needed without being consumed. In practice, be reliable in outcomes, but elusive in methods. Let others see your skills, but not your strategy. Be agreeable, but unguessable. You don't need to be confident. You need to appear confident. You don't need to be the smartest, just the calmest in chaos. You don't need to have power. You need to move like someone who does. Usefulness builds attachment, but full transparency builds entitlement. Once people feel like they understand you, they begin expecting you to comply. So instead, give value, not access. Deliver results, not routine. Your usefulness becomes your disguise, but your unpredictability is what makes you immune. Perception is reality in a world that never asks deeper questions. Use that. A wise prince must know how to act like both man and beast. Most people react. The powerful select. They select timing, setting, emotion, silence. When someone tries to provoke you publicly, pause. When they demand a reaction, delay. When they escalate, disappear. Every time you react on their terms, you've already lost half the battle. True control is not about dominance. It's about position. It's the difference between being in the storm and being above it. If they can't draw you into their chaos, they can't make you predictable. And if you're not predictable, you're not controllable. Machiavelli didn't teach aggression. He taught selection. Win not by force, but by forcing others to play your game, on your board, by your rules. Get clear on what you want, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Detach your worth from how people respond. Practice silence in moments you'd usually over-explain. The shift is subtle, but irreversible. You go from being agreeable to being intentional. He who seeks to please will soon find himself despised. It's brutal, but it's true. Machiavelli saw that the more you try to win everyone over, the more they lose respect for you. Because approval seeking is exposed neediness, and need is dangerous in power games. Distance creates value. Availability creates expectation. You need to stop making yourself emotionally available to people who haven't earned it. In psychological warfare, access is leverage. Don't answer instantly. Let time shape perception. Don't tell everyone what you're thinking. Let silence speak for you. Don't always be there. Be missed, not expected. The more someone sees you as always there, the less power your presence has. Strategic distance doesn't mean disconnection. It means selective connection. Enough to intrigue, not enough to drain. Machiavellian control thrives on this. You must be visible, but not accessible. You've been trained to earn permission, to ask first, to be nice, to over-explain, to soften your ambition. That stops now. Power doesn't ask. It observes, waits, and moves. Here's the dark upgrade. Some people will call you cold. They'll say you've changed. Good. Ice doesn't burn, but it cuts. This isn't about being evil. This is about becoming strategically unavailable. The goal isn't isolation. The goal is sovereignty. You move when you choose. You speak when it matters. And when you disappear, they feel it. Let's be honest. You've wanted to be understood your whole life. You've explained yourself to people who didn't care. You've bent to fit spaces that were never built for you. But here's the truth. The moment you stop needing to be understood, you become a mystery. And power lives in mystery. The strongest people you know, they're not loud. They're unreadable. Be one of them. Every time you explain, you shrink. Every time you justify, you hand them the map. Explaining is the most polite form of surrender. When you explain, you obey. Machiavelli taught rulers to mask their intentions, not to lie, but to conceal. In a world obsessed with sharing, secrecy is power. You don't owe anyone your inner map. You don't have to clarify your every move. And when you stop over-communicating, people will project. They'll imagine you're stronger, smarter, more in control than you are. Let them. Now you know. Power doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being unreadable. You've unlearned the need to explain. You've unlearned the instinct to please. You are not cruel. You are clear. You are not distant. You are disciplined. This is not self-help. This is self-protection. You're not just safe now. You're dangerous in the right way. Save this. Rewatch it. Let it become a ritual. Because the world isn't waiting to understand you. It's waiting to test you. And now, they'll never see you coming.